The premise of the novel is based around a rural, local area called Chester's Mill. Right away, it seems like any normal area, yet the thing that happens next will shock this quiet, rustic town. In the main scene, we are acquainted with a non nearby called Barbie. He is in the forest covering the dead carcass of a person. In the early evening, Barbie is voyaging away from the town when he happens upon the sheriff's vehicle. It makes him anxious, which further redirects his concentration from the street. At the point when he at last loses the officials, a few cows block his street. Barbie turns the vehicle and falls in a field with cows. His truck has a twist, yet he gets out safe. A couple of moments pass before the town is shaken by a seismic tremor. Then, at that point, out of nowhere, something slides from the sky before Barbie and everything hushes up. A cow implodes to the ground, subsequent to being parted in half by anything that material dropped from the sky. It was sharp to the point that it even cut the homes that it contacted. A young person called Joe comes to Barbie to check whether he is okay. The sheriff and delegate, Linda, are informed that the power supply to the entire town has been turned down. The telephone lines are dead, and the web doesn't work by the same token. An airplane hovering over the town crushes into the inconspicuous boundary, uncovering it is for sure a dome. On the radio broadcast, a DJ called Phil and his right hand, Dodie, are attempting to fabricate an association outside. They are confused since they are just the ones on air at the present time. A vehicle shows up from the opposite side of Feb Vault. However, Barbie stops it before it crushes. The town's counselor, Big Jim, comes at a similar time. However, he is pretty much as confused as the rest. The pack is advised that each course going to the town is hindered, which causes different mishaps. Elsewhere, two children called Junior and Angie are going through a lovely morning together. Angie is likewise Joe's more seasoned sister, who functions as a worker nurturer. In the main part, existing apart from everything else, Junior concedes that he is enamored with Angie. His heart throbs when she admits she doesn't feel something very similar. A group of three, mothers Carolyn and Alice and their little girl Nori, are likewise visiting the region for work. One more notable individual of Chester's Mill is an insightful correspondent called Julia. One morning, she's called by a woman to report dubious exercises. The woman has seen 6 tanks of propane being conveyed to the town's hold this week. It is an excessive amount of stock for gas. The councilman, Big Jim, races to the radio broadcast and proclaims the state of criticalness to people in general. Carolyn pays attention to it, however, expects it is a promotion of some sort. Seconds before they are prepared to crush into the vault, a vehicle from the opposite side does. The family is protected, however Nori slips into a seizure promptly. Then at some point, when she is oblivious, she murmurs something about an association star. She is immediately brought to the emergency clinic, which is full with survivors from the crashes occurring all through the town. Outside, Barbie meets Angie and addresses her over smoke. Junior sees them together and is seized with envy. After some time, his adoration for Angie has advanced into a habit, and seeing her with another person touches off something inside of him. At this point, the boundary and the town are being watched by the military. A couple of hours after the fact, Big Jim sees the sheriff and gets some information about the propane. They enigmatically talk about pretty much all they have done to safeguard the town. It is apparent that they know something about the Arch, yet they limit themselves from examining the point. Barbie was intended to be in the town for simply a day and has nowhere to remain. Around dinner time, Junior and him start a discussion, which at last transforms into a danger. Joe experiences an individual his age and the two banter about the issues. Unexpectedly, he slips into a seizure and yells something about the pink stars as Nori did before. His sister Angie is at her home when Junior barges in and captures her. He welcomes her to his dad's old Aftermath haven. It is in this way uncovered that his dad is Big Jim. Julia welcomes Barbie to her place and allows him to go through the evening. Everything works out in a good way until he sees the image of her better half and acknowledges it is the man he killed that morning. Linda and the sheriff are on a watch when the sheriff's pacemaker detonates and kills him instantly. A flashback from the morning illuminates us that Barbie was in town to see Julia's better half and address him about an installment of some sort or another. The specialist would have rather not paid, which created a squabble, and Barbie accidentally shot him dead. Despite the fact that it was only a mishap, he understood he would have been indicted consequently. To forestall that, Barbie discarded the cadaver. Elsewhere, two officials come hustling to the sheriff, yet at this point, he is now dead. Linda tears, embracing him. Joe is with his pal, Ben, who helped him when he encountered a seizure the previous evening. Ben asks him what he implied by the pink star, yet Joe doesn't recall expressing anything after he tumbled to the ground. In the radio broadcast, Dodie figures out how to contact individuals beyond the arch, utilizing an extraordinary gear. She can hear the soldiers bantering to one another, yet can't address them. At the town's bistro, Big Jim is appreciating breakfast until Linda enters and advises him about the sheriff's passing. They immediately rush to the town's undertaker, Lester. In the dugout, Angie does her hardest to call for somebody, however, it is fruitless. At the point when Junior shows up, he binds her to a bed. He feels that Angie's dismissal and the vault's appearance are some way or another associated, and when the arch goes gone, she will return to her standard self. The Undertaker, Lester, used to be the sheriff's mate and is crushed to learn of his passing. In any case, when Linda is absent, he and Jim admit they know something about the propane import that happened a month ago. They, alongside the sheriff, were leaving well enough alone from the local area. The sheriff's passing guarantees he won't educate anyone regarding their cooperation, which is superb information to them. Sometime thereafter, Linda goes into the police headquarters to find Big Jim looking for something in the sheriff's office. On being addressed, Jim expressed he came to investigate his will, and Linda trusts him. Elsewhere, Julia goes to the radio pinnacle and figures out that she can pay attention to the soldiers speaking outside the vault. Through the device, they find out somebody is endeavoring to dig underneath the arch, yet it is ineffective. Julia passes the news on to the town over the radio. Joe and Ben are close to the line watching researchers outside taking care of their business. They are endeavoring to test whether water has any effect on the vault. Soon thereafter, Barbie goes to the bungalow to look for his gems. He hasn't found it yet. Junior notified him not long after. They connect with into a battle and Barbie overwhelms him without any problem. From that point onward, we see Lester breaking into the sheriff's home to search for the papers about the propane import. He finds them behind a cabinet and touches them ablaze. Be that as it may, the plan misfires as the flares spread and bring over the entire back home. Before long, various individuals gather around the home endeavoring to extinguish the fire, yet without the help of a fire motor, it is unthinkable. Assuming they let the home burn to the ground, the temperature of the arch would lastly kill everybody. Barbie drives individuals who hold hands to convey water to the home. Linda hears Lester's voice and hustles inside to help him. She hauls him out of the spot prior to giving him to the paramedics. As the drained regular citizens father up, one of the cops named Paul flips out. He contends that they won't ever escape this situation. He shoots a shot in the air, which returns off the vault and strikes an individual cop. At the point when it becomes dull, Joe and his buddy begin skating. He is reached by Nori, who needs to re-energize her telephone. In the interim, Linda carries Paul to the prison while a horde of individuals condemn the police framework and fights outside the station. Jim quiets them down, encouraging them to help each other. Paul implodes into heart failure. Linda quickly hurries to him just to figure out he is faking. He utilizes the second to push her to the side and escape away subsequent to securing her. In the shelter, Junior talks to Angie once more. She had perceived that she expected to impact him to allow her to be free. Consequently, she informs him regarding the locked burrow they used to make a trip to as young people. The vault may not work in the passage, which implies they can get outside. Angie accepts he would free her now that she is supporting him. However, Junior needs to venture out to the passage alone.